Secondly, in my early journey, of course, I was very aggressive at work. And I remember I made one of the biggest flops ever. I realized in a male dominated world, you need to come with your own. It's not that every mother in law is bad and every daughter in law is bad. So I called up my writer and I remember telling him, I said, I want Tulsi to weigh herself. They're like, what? Advertiser led programming for the urban mass woman. My early childhood actually had very little to do with leadership.
अरे दादा हिला दिया कॉटन सबका है मैम वेट 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 मैम इधर
And then she continues doing that. It's not natural. So what is natural is expected of men. What is unnatural is subjected to women as a societal norm. I said, this is interesting. It's not that every mother-in-law is bad and every daughter-in-law is bad. It's unnaturally expected to immediately adjust. And so I decided, like, this is an interesting concept, and that's how Kyonki happened. I mean, there was no research, but I realized that once you catch a primary emotion, you catch a home.
Wonderful and powerful, and I think sometimes research fails you because no amount of research would have gotten people to this deep emotional insight.
My personal belief, and all my friends in media will hate me for this, including Gaurav right here, is that I believe research is usually of what happened. It can never tell you what will happen.
So I'm sure at that time Kyunki was super successful, but nobody thought Kyunki 2 will come back and become equally successful. Tell us a bit more, about the new season and what has remained the same maybe and what has really changed.
I think I try to put in what I would say is a new twist to a very integral primary story and character. So we decided this time that, very first episode, I still remember, I was in New York with my son, and I was like, I'm standing here, I've evolved, why is Tulsi going to be, of course she will go, she'll do her protein shakes now, instead of just making chai in the kitchen, but she will be stuck to what she calls her domain. There's no problem in that. There has to be some evolution to the character. So I called up my writer and I remember telling him, I said, I want Tulsi to weigh herself. They're like, what? I said, yeah, her insecurities are as much a part of the show as her wins, as her domain. I said, make her stand on a scale and get shocked at the weight and say, this scale is not working. I do that very often. And that's how we decided that this is how we're going to deal with this character. Her blouses won't fit her. Her daughter will troll her, thinking it's concern without realizing. We do it so often with our mothers. We say, oh, it's not looking nice on you, please go and change. Without realizing you're somewhere feeding that insecurity of the other person. And niceties in families usually are the least important thing. And we cross boundaries so often. So I was like, just make this a part of this new, and it was lapped up. So it worked. Thank God. Thank God.
Amazing. We talked a lot about the broadcast universe, and TV soaps, of course, have been very focused on female audiences. But when the digital shift started, in the digital world, first with internet penetration and then many other metrics were actually more favoring male watch time.
Fair we've been to the men on television. That unfair men have been to women on the digital medium. So we haven't really catered to female-centric audiences, female audiences on digital, like we didn't cater to men on television. This is because of the basic divide between subscription-led programming and advertising-led programming. Advertising is more favorable to women, subscription is more favorable to men. But with connected TV, finally digital will find a space for lovely urban mass, beautiful stories for women, and they will start discussing women in different spheres of society, working women, midlife crisis, stories that have not found a voice till now, urban soft romances, very, we call them now the Korean dramas, but I call them the dramas that were Indian 10 years ago. Finally, we will have those kind of shows, movies, or on out there in the market, because connected TV is going to bring advertiser-led programming for the urban mass woman again. For the first time, actually.
Personally, I can't wait to see that new era unfold. And
My early childhood actually had very little to do with leadership. My early childhood was, again, I was like finding my way around life. I had a privileged background. My parents were well-to-do. My father was an actor. But I had my own set of insecurities I dealt with as a child, which I slowly overcame, came through time. But I think what I learned about leadership, I always have seen my mother have a voice. And I felt that gave me the strength that today if I go out to the world, I don't feel that I'm supposed to keep quiet. Secondly, in my early journey, of course, I was very aggressive at work, and aggression and ambition in women is considered a bad thing. And because it's considered a bad thing, being a leader itself becomes a bit of a problem. You're supposed to like make everyone happy. Psychologically, you're told that that's how women should behave. They should see the happiness of everyone. I mean, democracy is great, but not at jobs where you need to like decide for everyone and sometimes be the bad person at the job, And that is the leadership you need to inculcate inside you, that you need to take a decision which is good for everyone. At the same time, it is not to get not to win a popularity vote with everyone. And I think my mom taught me how to do that, where your own self-worth doesn't come from validation from others. And that's where the true leader learns to stand up on its own, stand up on her own, and make her own decisions.
I am just blown away with that story, because I think if I ask this audience, just a show of hands, how many people are inspired and have learned a major lesson from their mothers? Okay. I think it just speaks volumes. I think we all owe it to the mother in the house, to shaping and becoming who we are, whether we are leaders in our organizations or otherwise. So amazing story there, Ekta. And clearly, like you said, from having a voice, often your brand of leadership is talked about being fearless. So how would you talk about that when you think of applying risk-taking and fearlessness into this industry, which is, often been associated with your brand of storytelling? And then shift gears a little bit and maybe share it is a reality that the M&E industry is still a very male-dominated one. And coming into that industry with this fearlessness and strong, bold voice, what were some of the advantages, disadvantages, and how did you navigate?
So there is no other way to be. In this industry, if you start going with data and what happened before, and this is how it's done, please follow it. I did that very young. And I remember I made one of the biggest flops ever. That's when I realized you can't do this often. You need to make a decision and go ahead and do what you need to do. And then face the consequences. You can't say the consequences are not yours. But when I did that, I realized that we are now entering a domain wherein we all know it, there is the big boys club. It exists. There's backslapping, there are conversations that happen in dining tables that you're never a part of. You're going to be in the squash game, you're not there. In the golf clubs, you're not there, because you only meet people, and there you have those disadvantages. So you realize that you need to make your own circle of very successful, strong women and be inclusive to the men. And that's what I think I did, and I try to do that all the time. I think we need more women in leadership roles, like you, Gunjan. And I think that's where I realized in a male-dominated world, you need to come with your own. There's no seat on the table. You come with your own chair, like I discussed with most of my female friends. We're usually carrying our own chairs and coming. Okay, I know there's no seat on the table, but can I just put my chair in here? Or you set up your own table.
I love setting up the table. I'm sorry, we're short on time, so we will be able to take only limited questions from the audience. Yeah, go for it.
That will be our first and last question.
Hello. Yeah, this is Gopal Ram, producer director from Chennai. I got some subjects to be made in Hindi from South. Is it possible to meet you and discuss some subjects with you?
I love the place you chose to pitch. You can pitch anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
I'm with you, my friend.
Yeah.
But I just must tell you that there's a process in Balaji, and there's a development team that will hear your pitch and then bring it to me. Unfortunately, we are stuck with processes, but we'll meet you post that once it's through.
Yeah. I worked with your daddy also.
That's great. Me and my daddy are pretty much working a lot.
It's a great attempt at creating your table. So clearly the message has.
I love it. I love it.
Thank
Pitch
you.
anywhere is my thing. I may not accept the pitch anywhere, but pitch anywhere.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you, Ekta. It's been really wonderful having you here.
Thank you. May I invite on stage Mr. Gaurav Banerjee, Chair CII National Council MNE.
Ekta just said that I'll hate her. She knows very well. So I'm just letting the rest of you in on the secret that I can never hate her. In fact, I was sitting there and feeling a little bit jealous that what is Ekta Kapoor, the queen of TV, doing with my friend from YouTube. So Ekta, we'll always have your love, and we'll most importantly always have your back. So keep making those tables, keep spinning those dreams. We love you.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's once again put our hands together to those powerful women on the stage. Can we have a group photograph, please? And ladies and gentlemen, I would request everyone to kindly stay back with us as we move into the next Power Talk, which is on Prime Video and the next frontier of India's entertainment revolution. So we now arrive at a Power Talk that takes us behind the scenes of India's dreaming revolution, where original storytelling meets the strategic vision and where platforms are